Well, the election is less than 100 days away, and officials are taking steps to protect poll workers. Taylor Fleming joins us in the studio to tell us the changes being made to improve safety. Taylor.
Lizzie, these are often local volunteers, and the concern for their safety has grown in recent election cycles as political tensions rise. On National Poll Worker Recruitment Day, the safety of these workers is on people's minds. In Tazewell County, election judges got certified and received badges on Thursday. Election judge badges used to be handwritten name tags, but they have been redesigned and individual names were removed to protect poll workers if something dangerous happens.
If an incident should occur at a polling location, when law enforcement come in, rather than saying, hello, my name is Betty Sue, they see immediately who are the election judges, officers of the circuit court that are operating at that polling location.
New badges are the result of a state law that was changed earlier this year. The law states that election judges will be identified by precinct number and a single letter. Tazewell County officials hope this change will decrease tensions at polling places. Election judges set up polling places, assist voters, and report election results back to the Election Commission at the end of the night. Peoria County election judges also receive training for de-escalating situations, emergency plans, and who to call if something goes wrong.
You can see what is happening in polling places throughout the nation, and so we have developed specific trainings for our election judges. We are trying to prepare you for anything that you may encounter.
Peoria County officials are looking for 100 more election judges before November. If you are interested, you can call the number on your screen or go to our website 25newsnow.com for more information. The next time to vote is the general election on November 5th. Back to you, Lizzie.